Hi Lane, all right, here's your spread. So we're going to look at where we are, what you did with the majority of your time, an important day, another important day, the death, and the lesson learned. And we will get hits of what time period throughout this. And so, right away, what I'm getting from this island card right here, it can mean so many. The island card can mean a lot of islands, and usually I don't always get the those Hawaiian islands, but I'm getting such a tropical pull right now. Kind of like a Polynesian vibe, and something with boats, and something with well, this makes sense here. So this is the nomad card. This is where you move around a lot, or you don't even have a home. That's what this card can mean. So I'm getting the feeling of movement. And so your job here is to make connections wherever you can, whether it's even the fact that you love Polynesian culture or island culture, or you might even be distasteful of it. So there are ways you can make connections in either way. But just keep in mind to make connections. So I am getting a feeling of mobility and movement, moving around. I want to say that there is something like a tribe that is spread across numerous islands in this area. So I'm not sure if it's the Hawaiian Islands or if it's like southeastern Asian islands, if that makes sense, or those islands where it's kind of connected to the Polynesian culture. But I want to say there's these islands and you move around and you're checking up on the tribes that have spread across these islands. And I feel like today in modern times, these different islands have different kind of cultures, but when you were there visiting, you could tell easily that they were all part of the same tribe, if that makes sense, or community. And I feel like you're someone that would check up on them. So I feel like almost like if your personality is someone who does keep tabs on things or checks up on things, almost like you might be a list maker or someone who keeps things categorized or in order. If that's you, just keep that in mind. It can mean that, or on the flip side, you could be someone who doesn't care at all because in this life you cared so much. It was like your job. I don't even know what kind of job this is, but it's like someone who is headquartered in based in the headquarter of a company, and they go to the other branches just to make sure things are flowing and smooth and things aren't needed. And that's what you did here, but more had to do more with living and making sure everyone has the water and shelters and foods and medicinal properties that they needed. Because I feel like this is at the point where your community has just begun to spread apart and spread out, and you want to make sure everyone is kept together as far as like your hearts. Like everyone still understands that you're all family even though you're on different islands. So it's almost like you're a tribe of explorers in a sense, or like you just made the decision to become explorers of these other islands around you. It's really interesting what I'm seeing. And so you go by boat, and I feel like you go with a small group of people that go with you, but you head these people. You might even have in this current life, you might be someone who is good with management, someone who others can know will get the job done. That can also lead to you possibly being, in a sense, a people pleaser on a different level, because you know you're capable, and then the others know you're capable and also rely on you. And that can turn into someone who not only is a people pleaser, but may even, in a sense, resent your own qualities because it places a lot of responsibility on you. Keep that in mind. That might not be the case, but just impressions I'm getting. All right. So, the first important day. First important day, we see, oh, okay, so this is the conquered or welcome card, and that's when there are new people coming into your life. And we're seeing, I'm trying to see whether they're welcomed or whether they're coming to bother you, basically. The card associated, okay, this is a spouse card and feelings associated. This is a duality of feelings card. It can mean positive or negative. It can mean both. It can mean mixed emotions. And what I'm getting is this overwhelming, loving feeling. I feel like there are people, what's happening? I feel like there is a community that is joining your community. Your community, not that it's become sparse, but because others have left it to go to these other places, you're welcoming others to your table, so to speak, into the community. And in doing so, I feel like you find a partner here. I feel like you're a man in this life too. And this group comes in and there's this woman there. And this woman is really like demure. So even though you're a people pleaser, this woman is even more so like just kind of gentle. Very gentle and very easygoing. It's very sweet vibes about her. And you two communicate really well. And you love that because usually the communication that you do throughout the day is kind of answering people's questions and making people feel comfortable. And with her and you, it's more like just a really comfortable, easygoing communication that has nothing to do with work. It's just not a lot is said, actually. It's kind of a quiet but loving relationship, and it's a good bond. So just, there you go, keep that in mind. It's overwhelmingly positive. It's interesting. It's like an understanding on a deeper level. And I feel like in this current life, there's something about having a partner that can understand you at a deeper level, rather than just the surface. Making that connection is very important for you. It may be, so just keep that in mind. And that's a good thing. It's almost like you learned what a good relationship is from here, and that's not something you forget. That's kind of like, it's kind of like a cell memory where in this life you might be someone at a soul level that's like, I won't stand for having a partner in my life or people in my life that I care about that treat me any other way than this kind of respect. Almost like I feel like there's a feeling of you carry a lot of weight on the idea of being respected by people you care about, because it's almost like, I'll treat you this way, you treat me this way. Like, you respect the people that you love, that you invest your time in, and in exchange you kind of demand that same respect. So just keep that in mind. Alright, the next important day. So this is the move card. Let's go. So something's happening where you're moving or you're getting out, someone's leaving. The soulmate card is attached to that. And then there is the betrayal card, the feelings of betrayal. That's interesting. So what's interesting here is the betrayal feelings don't stem from you. The betrayal feelings are coming from the people around you because you and your partner have decided to go to another island that's part of your community. This was your home base and the headquarters kind of, but you, by visiting these other islands and keeping up friendships with the people in these other islands, you've developed more, not just you've developed comfort on another island in another island where you want to settle. And you also have determined that your partner, who is your soulmate in this life, I feel like this is someone you travel with from lifetime to lifetime with. I feel like there's like this karmic bond between you two, and you can sense that she would enjoy it over here more, even though she doesn't go with you on your voyages over there. You can sense she would be pleased as well, and you both determine, all right, it's time, let's go. and you like this idea of change. You like the change. You feel mundane. You feel like you're just anchored in this daily life, and it's, even though you're a quiet person, you're not a boring person, but it's almost like the people around you feel like you're boring because of how routine things are. And this change is kind of shaking up the community a bit because you're someone that they thought that they could predict, like they thought you were pretty predictable. Oh, he'll be here forever. No, that's not the case. Change. So in this current life, it's almost like, I feel like it could be a couple things. It could be like you're someone that likes to surprise people in a way by letting your out of, like, whatever thoughts are out of the box for you. You like surprising people that way. Or you just like the idea of changing things up once in a while, and even though routine is comfortable, even if you don't change a lot, you might like the idea of switching things up or changing, or maybe even like that's your way of showing this is maybe traveling or going on vacation or going somewhere new, trying something new. Maybe you like to try new foods a lot. Maybe, I don't know, there's something about shaking up your routine even in a small way. So just keep that in mind, and that's a really good thing. It's almost like this was your most redeemable act, so to speak. Nothing to redeem, but this was you valued this so much, the change. Even though it made others feel a certain way, it was also a boost to you because it made you stronger, because you were such a people pleaser here that you really went after what you felt was right in your heart and what you needed, despite knowing that people would kind of feel kind of against you, which went against your nature too. So it's almost like, I want to say almost like currently, if there's something you are feeling inside of you where you and people who know you might label it as going against your nature, like, I can't say what, but maybe like something like you want to explore something that's unusual, or you want to take up a class that's different. Like maybe all of a sudden you want to try like taking singing lessons, or you want to take sculpting like something that's just kind of like different from your routine. I would say go for that, because that is going to open you up in ways that you can't really even tell right now. So I would say if you're thinking about taking a class, or you're thinking about, I don't know, even like going to a retreat or going somewhere for a certain small time period, having possibly to like, go over here for a week or two or a month, whatever it is, there's something that will help. There's something in that that's going to help expand you. Whatever it is. You might not even see it as creative, but it's creative. And I feel like that's something important, where there's, you need this like a creative outlet of some sort. Even if you already do art, or you are creative in whatever way you are, there might be something new you want to try, and I would just definitely say go for it. And when I start repeating myself like this, I'm sorry, but when I do that, usually it's something that your guides want to kind of message out to you, like, hey, if you're thinking about it, do it, kind of thing. All right. So let's go to the death. So the death is an accident. We have the accident card. So I'm just saying, what happens here? What's going on? Okay, so it's like I get a clunk on the head. I feel like something hit you on the head in this new environment that you weren't aware of. I feel like it's something from even something like from a tree. Like, you know how those leaves can fall on cars and dent the car? I feel like it's like this big leaf, or like a coconut or something, that just plunks right on your head and it knocks you unconscious. And I want to say it was like a short coma that led into death. So it wasn't necessarily a physically painful death, but I do want to say that if there's any link between, in your current life, if you do get headaches, or I want to say not just headaches, but neck pains, head, neck, shoulder area, if that's achy and that's bothering you at all, just keep that in mind. It might stem from this incident. And you also might be, I don't know, like a slight paranoia involved. So you might even, this might sound crazy, but if you walk around like generally with the slightest bit of this paranoia with you, almost like something's gonna fall out of the sky, if that makes sense, keep that in mind too, because it could stem from this, where because you didn't die right away, you were in a coma, but even in that unconscious state, you were aware that something unexpected hit you that you weren't even, you would never think would plunk you on the head, kind of thing. So that might have instilled a slight feeling of paranoia. Might not. You might not be paranoid at all. But it's just, keep that in mind. Keep in mind with the headaches, though. If you do get headaches or neck cramps, or if you do that thing where you turn your neck and it gets stuck that way, that kind of thing where you can't move it for a bit, if you get that throughout your life, keep that in mind. It can stem from here. Maybe not, but that's where it would stem from. Okay, so the lesson involved, ooh, this is cool. This is the experience card. And I put here B and C. And it's really interesting because you did do a lot of going out and kind of going to these islands, getting on the water and adventuring and experiencing that kind of thing. But I feel like that's not what this experience is about, because even in experiencing these things and getting out and doing that, it was still routine. It was still your job. It was still expected of you. It's not like it's unexpected for you to go for it. It's not like an adventure for you. Even though you enjoyed it, it wasn't an adventure so much as it was your responsibility. So I feel like you did learn this lesson, though, later here with your experience, not only in falling for somebody that is a newcomer, because there's a feeling that you would partner with somebody from the original community because people really expected things from you. And you may even feel like that in your current life, where people expect things from you. And you might be tired of living up to certain expectations, or you might enjoy it, but just know that's where it stems from. But anyway, the experience came when you first broke out of that and partnered with someone that was a newcomer, and also when you got out of your comfort zone and moved to the place where you really felt would be better for you and your partner, despite how people felt about that. So I feel like you really did learn the experience lesson that you were meant to in this life by kind of breaking out of the box, stepping out of your comfort zone, and following your heart. And that's really important. And it's something that you really ought to continue doing, is stepping out of that box when you want to, and following your heart, because it won't lead you wrong. Your heart, your gut, your intuition, that's going to always lead you in the right way. All right? So I hope you enjoyed this reading, and thanks for letting me read you.